Let's move on here. We're going to talk a little bit about the Rockets' young core. They are struggling so far this year. At times, guys like Alperen Sengun aren't even getting plenty of minutes. So it kind of makes you question Stephen Silas's commitment to developing these guys when that's all that matters. But let's start out just talking about individual players here. Obviously, the headliner of their team is their number 2 overall pick, Jalen Green. What do you got to say about his performance so far this year?
So Jalen Green, has had a lot of trouble with the size of the NBA. It's shown he gets in the lane and he just has no plan. Like he thinks things are going to happen the way he thought, doesn't, and then he just kind of turns it over, shoots up a wild shot. But he has shown flashes that he can be a really nice player. Especially, I see him when he has these really nice games, a really nice shooter. I see him as like a better CJ McCollum. Could be a ceiling, and I really see that. I think that's certainly reachable for him. He could certainly get better than that, but that's just what I'm seeing from this season so far. I mean, he's come out to be a really nice shooting guard as is. He's 61% on catch and shoots. He's taking a little too many step backs for a rookie, so I'm a little if you like reel it back a little bit because they're playing so undisciplined. But then he doesn't commit to just putting all the young guys out there, Stephen Silas. So I'm with you there. It's just a little confusing, but I'm not too worried. I think he should get up there. I mean, he has the full offensive package. He's athletic, he's got some teardrops, can finish in the lane, take people off the dribble, certainly can hit shots. Just needs to get a little more consistent.
Yeah, sometimes Jalen is too focused on being swaggy, and he needs to focus on the fundamentals and getting the ball in the basket, and then the swag can come afterwards. So, I think that's just maybe a factor of the guy dominating every level he's been till now and needs to adjust.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, it certainly helped his pace and the size that he was with the G League. It's just getting a little more physical. It's just that next step up, and I'm not worried because I mean he'll have a few inconsistent games, but then he'll have a really great game. So I just all it is consistency.
He's the potential flashes there. So like that's a lot of what you need to see in a rookie season. Like it's a long season. If he can finish the second half really strong and be efficient, like this Houston Rockets team will be very excited at what they got. So plenty of time here to figure it out. It's very early this season. But another guy who I was expecting to give us something more early this season, and he just hasn't, is Kevin Porter Jr. And the turnovers is a big factor for that. And honestly, the missed shots are too. He's just doesn't look like the same guy as he was last year.
Yeah. He started off, I mean, last year he did have a little more veterans on the team and it helped him out a lot. Now it's just kind of young. All they basically have is like Daniel Tice and Eric Gordon. I mean, and Christian Wood, but Christian Wood's kind of his own thing. I don't really think of him as a veteran yet. I mean, he played for the Pistons for a little. He doesn't have that veteran mindset. He hasn't been winning.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to call him a veteran. Like he's a guy who's probably more focused on himself than bettering other guys.
Yeah. Plus, he's only like 26, so 26 or 27, I forget. But he was almost part of the young core as is. So, yeah, he came into the league. He's like, I'm going to average 10 this season. I'm going to average 10 assists a game. Just hasn't made that jump. Yeah, 4.2 turnovers, career high, only 1.5 assists. Shooting splits of 36 from the field, 30 from three, which you want to be better, and 64 from the field. It's not looking that great. I mean, 46% true shooting. At least there's 57 around the basket, but he just doesn't take it in. He's taking all these mid-range, these contested threes. Looks like they gave him the keys to the offense, and he's just kind of not
fumbling.
Not showing out like he's supposed to. I mean, looking a lot like Michael Carter Jr. in certain ways. Michael Carter. Wait.
Yeah, you got it.
Michael Carter Jr. in a lot of ways. Just about half of his shots are coming from three, and it's not even that great. I mean, his catch and shoot is 46% at least. Just when he's not handling the ball and other things are happening.
Yeah, he's putting up lazy contested shots, and he's just not being a very good team player right now.
Yeah, he has 18% on assisted 2-pointers. So that's driving or pull up twos. 18%. That's not much.
Yeah, and that's off of a pass, is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah.
So even then, like you would think he should be open enough to make the shot. Ideally, if he's making a good cut to the rim or something else.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not saying he's a dead end or anything. I think he certainly has all the potential. I just think they went into the season too young. They didn't have enough
Well, yeah,
veterans,
like they decided not to play John Wall at all this year.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if that's something that's impacting them. Obviously the only veteran they brought on board this year was Daniel Tice, who, don't get me wrong, solid veteran, but realistically, they're probably going to trade him at the deadline anyways. So
yeah, I mean, if they ever trade him, they're going to free up some minutes for our next guy, and which I think is what they should do anyway. But to finish off Kevin Porter, he would have learned a lot next to John Wall. I mean, he did do a lot better last season when he was playing with John Wall. So I'm like, yeah, I get like you wanted to trade him for something else, but he does.
But like we knew they weren't
going
to be able to trade him either. He's still on the team. I saw a report recently that this is likely heading toward a just benching him for the whole season type of thing. And it's like, well, yeah, that's, we had a video about that earlier this year. I predicted that's what was going to happen because who the hell in their right mind was going to trade for John Wall's $44 million contract guaranteed through the next 2 years? Like no one was going to do that. So like you might as well use him unless like he obviously probably wanted to get out too. But like, I don't know what the point of not playing at all is. Cause like, I mean, these guys aren't really developing. So
yeah, they'd have to probably like, the only thing I could even get close to thinking of is like attaching a pick and maybe another player and John Wall for Al Horford. Cause Al Horford's shown that he can play better right now and John Wall hasn't played. And Al Horford would be nice to have on that team. And John Wall, you'd at least get that playmaker, throw back, but I don't know. I just doubt he'll be traded.
Yeah, I don't see any team going for that. They're going to be like, nah, we'll wait for you to buy him out.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in this climate.
Yeah. So moving on, you want to talk about Christian Wood or Alperen Sengun?
I'll talk about Sengun. So now that we're talking about, so Daniel Tice is taking all of his minutes and he's been getting very little minutes. And this is like the crime of this team because he's doing pretty well.
Absolutely.
8.8 points, 4.7 rebounds, 2.1 assists, 1.2 steals, 47, 41, 66 shooting splits. Free throw could be better. Couldn't ask for much better with the free throw, field goal, and shooting.
He's got some good post moves. He can drive to the rim.
Yeah, he's looking awesome. Not a terrible shooter. He's really nice shooter. Only 19 minutes a game with 6.2 shots. He's looking really nice, and I don't see why he's not in the starting. I mean, put Christian Wood at center and him at power forward. It's not like you care if your defense is going to work out right now. Let it happen. I mean, he's not that great of a defensive player.
Yeah, it's like, are you competing or developing? It's one of the other guys. Like,
yeah, just one of the other. Have him in there, and I mean, only 49% around the basket. That's a little troublesome for a 6'10" guy, but let him figure it out.
He's also young. He's skinny. Like,
just needs more size.
When you've only got so many minutes, I mean, you've only got so much time to try out new moves, figure out how you can get to the rim. So I think, for him, it's really just he needs more opportunities.
Yeah. And he does need to be better at rebounding. He's 12% in rebounding, which is pretty bad for a 6'10" guy and for a power forward. NBA average is like 27%. So typically you want a big to be obviously better than 27% as a big, and he's getting 12%. It's not good at all. So you want to see him do a little better than there. But I mean, he's not gonna learn if you don't play him.
Exactly. That's what it comes down to. I mean, we talked about this for years, and I ripped on the Magic for it for years with Steve Clifford not giving their guys development. And, here we are, year 5 of Mo Bamba, and they're finally giving him playing time. They're like, oh, he's looking good. Yeah. And it's like, before that, they were like, oh, we don't know what we have in Mo Bamba because we haven't given him enough playing time. And it's like, wow, I don't know what you guys could do. I don't know how you could do what you could possibly do to fix that.
I know.
Like you spent a high draft pick on a guy, 5 overall for Bamba. I think for Sengun, it was 12. 11 maybe. I mean, it's pretty high. maybe 15, somewhere in there. I don't know. I'm just throwing numbers
14
out there.
comes to me, but
14 comes to you. All of us.
From 11 to 15.
Somewhere in there. Either way, he was a top half of the first round, and he was an MVP of the Turkish league. This is a guy who's got talent. Like, give him some damn playing time. You spent 4 first round picks this year. Do you want to go buy a whole season and be like, well, I guess we really don't know what we have in these guys because we hardly played them. But we'll play them next year. Yeah. I swear.
Yeah. Poor guy. Free Sengun.
Free Sengun. Hashtag free Sengun. Any other guys you want to touch on?
I talked a little bit about jae'sean Tate. I mean, he was pretty impressive towards the end of the season last year.
Yeah.
Right now, 11.4 points per game, 7.1 rebounds. Really nice rebounder for a wing. 1.8 assists, 48 from the field, which is fine, but 28 from 3 and 73 from the line. He really was looking like a really nice shooter, like a 3-and-D type guy. He could turn into a 3-and-D type guy last season, and he's taken some steps back on shooting. He's not as aggressive scoring. It's
sure.
Especially with the free open lanes that everyone has, or like the open possessions, literally anybody can take it and score it. It's a little weird seeing him not score as much.
Sure.
But he's a really nice effort player. I'm sure he'll figure it out. I hope he'll figure it out because he looked really nice. He had that proof of concept. He could do it. So now he just has to do it again. Looks like a polished shooter. Really nice on the offensive boards. He could fit a PJ Tucker type role if he got a lot better at defense, but he could also just be the PJ Tucker of offense for people. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with him. I like him. I like Kenyon Martin Jr. as well. He's a guy who has got some good grit, and he can get up pretty high too. So I'd like to see him improve as well. Josh Christopher is a guy with some shooting potential, and I think, maybe there's something there. Obviously, not all of these first round picks are going to work out. That's why they're using multiple of them, because a couple of them should work out.
That's what a rebuild is. You just accumulate a few of them, and you're like, all right, let's see what happens.
We're gonna see who comes out of this, But yeah, that's the Houston Rockets. Hopefully, we see some improvement on them this year. Otherwise, might be an early firing for Steven Silas here soon.
Yeah, I hope not. He had a lot of potential going into it. A lot of people were really happy about the signing.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were happy to see him get a shot. So I hope, he can turn things around. But you start having an ugly record like this, people are going to look at you in a negative way.